Okay, ladies, I'm going to just do a really quick little video here for you to show how to do the interior zipper pocket. What I have here is, of course, your piece E, your bag lining. I'm just using the clutch, goldfinch clutch here. And then I have my prepared piece I, which is my zipper facing. And then I will be putting the zipper onto the zipper pocket, which is piece H. So the first thing you need to do is have your facing prepared with your interfacing. You have the centerpiece cut out as per the instructions. And then you center that onto your lining piece 3/4 of an inch down. Once that is set, you have it pinned in place, then you stitch as close as you can to the inside of this cut out area that you've done with your interfacing. And then we will cut that centerpiece and flip it around, iron it so it's prepared for our zipper pocket. I will show you what that looks like in a few minutes. I'm just going to quickly sew this up and get it ready for you, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here we are again. I've just sewn around, cut our lines in there, clipped into the corners, and then flipped it in. So now we have our prepared window. This is where we're going to place our zipper pocket once it's complete. I think it's the zipper pocket area that people are having a hard time with, so let's continue on with our zipper pocket. To do that, you're going to need your zipper along with your lining piece. And we're going to line up the edge of our zipper tape along the one edge of our zipper pocket. That would be your 6-inch side. So just make sure it's lined up. Some of you might like to put a piece of tape on there or clip it with pins. It's entirely up to you how you like to do it. I usually just go ahead and sew it myself. I always move my needle over. I have a 1/4-inch foot on here, but as I had posted earlier, there is a small little hole where the needle can go through, and that is approximately 1/8 of an inch in, and I just always use that instead of flipping back and forth to my zipper foot. I just find it quicker and easier and more accurate for myself. So I just line that up, hold on to my thread, lower my needle, and away we go. Sorry, I'm using black. It's kind of my favorite for all of my interior zips. So we just kind of start off. Make sure you hold that thread or else you'll get a little nest. Backspace a couple to hold it in place. Keep this piece lined up right along this edge. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can just move this slightly for you. It's right along this edge that we are sewing, and I sew with a 1/8 inch. That's all included in the instructions. So let's just sew this on. Making sure it's lined up. And backstitch on the end just to tie it into place. And now you can see that it is attached. Now is when you flip it over and you give this a slight press. I'll just finger press it here and quickly iron it down here. So now you've got a nice pressed seam and flipped. So now you've got your zipper onto what looks like your backside of your pocket. which of course it isn't. We laid it right side against right side. That is what we're going to do again. To the other side, you just flip it up. You line this up again to the top edge, and this time make sure that this edge is also flush so that your zipper pocket will be straight. Put this underneath your needle. Line everything up. Hold on to your thread. Do a couple stitches. Back stitch to lock. And continue across the top, making sure that that top edge is lined up with the top edge of your zipper tape. Back stitch to lock. And there you have it. You've got your zipper in onto your lining, your pocket lining piece. Now all we do is open up our zipper and finger press that back, and then take it to your ironing board and give it a nice little iron so that it's crisp. And that is now done. Now, depending on which way, clip your little tails, of course, and depending on which way you like your zippers to open, that this is one of the nice things about doing it this way is you can have your zipper opening from the right to the left. You just push this behind your prepared pocket this direction, or if you prefer the other direction, which I do, then you just flip your pocket and now all of a sudden it fits in that direction, and you've got your zipper pull on the left, so then it's opening left to right, and when you open it up, there is your zipper tape. No stitches are showing, and it will go in perfectly. So now we'll just move on to the next step. I'm just going to quickly put some tape onto my zipper and then tape it onto the back of my facing so that when you look at the window, it will look at this, and then we will sew it in. This is another part that people seem to be confused about, but it does give you a very nice finished zipper. So let's go back to that in a second. Okay, so here we have our zipper pocket taped into our window. I've just given it a quick little press just so it'll sit the same way that I want it to sit once it is completely sewn in. And so it has kind of a crease in the bottom. And what you first want to do is when you bring it up to your machine is you want to give that pocket a lift up so that it is not going to be sewn into the bottom of your seam that you're going to put here. And all you're doing is you're catching the bottom of your tape with the bottom of your window and just catching the very bottom of your pocket. What this does is it sews it to your lining and you won't have any stitches showing at all, which is nice. So start at the very edge of where your window ends. You probably want to start about a 1/8 of an inch away because that is what we're going to sew this on with. I like to use longer stitch length to do this as it's almost like top stitching. So I usually use a 3.5 or a 4 on my machine. Drop your needle, hold your thread so you don't get any little nests, and start. back stitch a couple stitches just to lock that in place, or if you prefer, you can not back stitch, leave yourself a long tail, pull it to the back side and knot it off. You just sew 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the window. Keep moving your zipper pull out of the way. When you get to approximately 1/3 of a way from the edge, I just move it all the way back, and then I can continue to the other side of the window. The other thing you have to watch for is on a 1/4 inch foot, this little foot likes to stick into that edge of the window, so I just lift it with my fingernail for that one stitch, and then back stitch it into place, and it's locked. Cut off my threads, and now you can see that I've stitched 1/8 of an inch along just the bottom edge. I still have my pocket up to the top. Now that I'm done that, I will put my pocket into the exact position that I want it to be, and then I will continue sewing around the rest of the pocket. You start 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the window, and it should be right where you finished your stitching on the bottom, or close to it. Drop your needle, back stitch to lock it in place, lift your needle and pivot, and then holding everything where it's supposed to be, go right along top. Again, stop when you get to your zipper pull. Move it out of the way so that you can continue along the top side. Pivot when you get to the edge and close the window. Now you can see that I've gone all the way around. Your pocket is complete. There are no stitches showing at all anywhere inside your pocket, which is just a nice finish. We just prefer to see that. And your pocket is complete. Now all you have to do is clip off your excess zipper if you have, and stitch up the sides. So I usually just continue while I've got it in my machine. Go along the side, and like we've put in as a tip, round those corners. Keeps the lint out of their pockets. So that's your one side. Flip your lining out of the way, of course, while you do this. Your little curve doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want it to be, just take a little pen and draw your stitch line on there and follow it all the way along, and you will have a perfect curved edge. So now I can clip these off on both sides. I just make it even to my pocket, and there you go. Clip your little tails off of your threads so those aren't there, and there's your pocket. Hope that helps everybody. If you have any questions, again, please let us know, but It's just a nice way to finish your pocket. I know that there's lots of different methods out there, and you're more than welcome to use whatever method you prefer. This is just one of the methods that we use in our patterns. We have a couple different methods, but this one's a nice one, and yeah, happy sewing.